This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Nice intro, good and strong. Welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday, April 28th. I'm Tori here with Ladies' Day. It is Lindsay and Erica.
What's going on?
Good to see you. How you feeling?
Oh, you know, I'm getting it together this morning.
You got
Slowly.
We're gonna fix her mic.
You got a little wiring happening right now.
That's what happens. We will.
Cut to beautiful Erica and
Cut to
Tori.
beautiful Erica.
Come back to me.
Well, we want to get started with this. We want to ask you a question. If you have a huge platform and millions of fans, what kind of responsibility do you have to give people reliable and factual information about the pandemic? That's the question we're asking after Joe Rogan gave his millions of listeners some very controversial and, frankly, I'm going to say it here, incorrect advice on his Spotify podcast. Let's take a look and talk about it after.
And people say, do you think it's safe to get vaccinated? I've said, yeah, I think for the most part it's safe to get vaccinated. I do. But if you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I go, no. Yeah. Are you healthy? Are you a healthy person? Like, look, don't do anything stupid, but you should take care of yourself. You should, if you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and you're young and you're eating well, like, I don't think you need to worry about this.
So what does science have to say about this? Young, healthy people getting vaccinated? Well, here's how Dr. Fauci actually responded to Rogan's comments on the Today Show. Take a look at this.
Well, that's incorrect, Savannah. And the reason why is that you're talking about yourself in a vacuum then. But you can get infected and will get infected if you put yourself at risk. It is likely that you, even if you have no symptoms, that you may inadvertently and innocently then infect someone else. So if you want to only worry about yourself and not society, then that's okay. But if you're saying to yourself, even if I get infected, I could do damage to somebody else, even if I have no symptoms at all. And that's the reason why you've got to be careful and get vaccinated.
So that is the correct advice from Dr. Fauci. I got to ask you guys, you have a platform. What is the responsibility level of telling the accurate truth? Is Joe Rogan responsible here for spreading misinformation? Erica?
You know,
he's an interesting character.
I am not a medical professional any more than Joe Rogan is a medical professional. What I do with my platform is lead by intentions. I'm always trying to give the most correct, as I understand it, from the professionals, information to the people who choose to follow me. That being said, I think we are focusing way too much on Joe Rogan. I think that for as millions of followers as he has and listeners, there are going to be people who think for themselves. And we can say Joe Rogan's wrong, and I think Joe Rogan, that was irresponsible to say. I will say that, absolutely. But the truth is, there are going to be people who are going to get vaccinated because he said that, just as much as there's going to be people who aren't going to get vaccinated because he said that. And at the end of the day, everyone has already made up their minds. So if your mind is made up and you are waiting on Joe Rogan to figure out which way you should go, then the problem's a little bigger than what we're talking about right now.
That's a fair point, and I think very well said, but there are some 21-year-olds that adhere to everything that man says. I mean, they really believe he is the gospel. What do you think?
I like Joe Rogan a lot. I think he's a brilliant conversationalist, and I think when you have a platform, you have a space to give somebody else room who actually might know the research and the facts, like he does sometimes, the space to say what they need to say so the public is well informed. He had a lot of good points on coronavirus, but for right now, you know, he's telling people not to get vaccinated, and that's his opinion, and I think a lot of people listen to him. But like Erica was saying, it's up to individuals to decide who they disseminate and gather information from. Like, he's not a source on this topic. He's a source for great interviewing skills. He's a source for great conversation, but I wouldn't say you should listen to him on medical facts and advice. So I think it's really up to us with all these platforms and all this information available to decide that Joe Rogan is not the person to give us medical advice.
That's fair. Just remember, in India, they are now burning people in the streets. I don't mean to be crass, but I want you to all take this very, very seriously and listen to the science, in my opinion. This next story has been out for a week now, but people are really starting to ask, why is it taking so long for authorities to release the body cam footage showing Andrew Brown Jr.'s death? The FBI has opened a civil rights probe, and a judge in North Carolina scheduled a hearing for today to consider releasing the footage. But there's this. New footage showing North Carolina sheriff's deputies turning down the streets. Down the street, Anthony Brown Jr.'s street. They're piled into the back of a truck. They pull up to his house. Police say they were there to serve a warrant for drug charges. Moments later, Brown was shot and killed. His family now has seen a redacted portion of the body cam footage, only 20 seconds worth. But here's how his brother described it to NBC News.
And what did you see?
Execution.
Execution?
Yes.
Describe it.
It's horrific. You know, you see a person trying to get away and the cops shooting at them. You know, and that's not right.
Why do you think it's taking so long to release the footage, and how important is it for the public to see what really happened? I think we just had an example, right, with Darnella Frazier when she filmed the George Floyd, of how crucial that footage is. What do you think? Why haven't we seen it?
I think it's interesting because law enforcement is always telling us, wait until you have the full picture. And in this case, they're actually withholding the full picture from people on the brink of Derek Chauvin spending a lot of time likely in jail for video that we saw with a knee on his neck killing a black man. And this is like the topic of conversation right now in America, and we have to handle it differently than we've been handling because there's problems actually embedded in the system, which is why we need video cameras on police officers in the first place. So to say you're not going to release it is very problematic, and the time that it's taking is only causing more strife for the public, as you can see, and I think it's going to be just cause a bigger issue for this police department and others.
Yeah, I agree. It's like causing more panic as we go. They actually have a state of emergency already preemptively in Elizabethtown. What do you think, Erica?
I'm sick of seeing black people executed.
Yeah, I know.
You know, he was shot, what, 5 times, once to the back of the head. I don't know what to say anymore. Like, I really don't. And I mean, when you're talking about with George Floyd, and then we had Ma'Khia Bryant, and now we're looking at this. And then we have these conversations about police reform, and people want to be very much, it's one side or the other. I just think about some of the templates that we're seeing popping up in cities as our own, of how these situations can be handled. And, you know, just by reallocating funds, or also by not allowing police to be the executioner, judge, and jury. It's very problematic, and I think that Chris Cuomo was right. Until we start seeing people who aren't black and brown being executed in this way, then we're going to continue to see this problem.
I completely agree with both of you. I also want to say, for body cams, if we're not going to be able to see the footage, why are they there? Right? I understand you got to take the time, but if someone shuts off a body cam, I want police to be charged with obstruction of justice immediately. I think that body cam is a part of the civil rights movement, and I would demand to see it. You know.
And I think Erica's saying, when are we going to do something about it?
Yeah, what's the action?
There's been executive orders for lesser things from President Biden already. And so I think when we were counting on President Biden to be the change that we didn't see maybe a couple of years ago, we really want to know, when is something actually going to get done, and when are police actually going to be held accountable so we can actually stop seeing black people get killed.
Amen. Well said. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
As most of the country eyes a return to normalcy after the COVID-19 pandemic, one change will be sticking around: virtual learning, at least for some students. Let's connect the dots. When coronavirus hit, the U.S. launched an unprecedented effort to teach all students remotely. The experiment was a struggle for many families and their students, but some kids did actually thrive. Teachers report the kids who did well tended to be the ones with social anxiety, attention deficit disorder, or autism. Now school districts across the country are establishing online-only schools for the next academic year. For most districts, this means standalone virtual schools with teachers dedicated to working only with remote students. But not all virtual schools are the same. Some require students to work online courses independently, with only occasional online interaction with a teacher. That model obviously benefits children who are comfortable setting their own pace. It also tends to work best if parents are actively involved in the process. Other models are more teacher-directed, where students attend traditional classes just in a virtual setting. There is one big downside to continued virtual learning: less social interaction. While some online programs do include extracurricular activities, experts say it is hard to replicate the seeing your friends face-to-face. Connecting the dots, I'm Cheryl Mercedes, KHOU 11 News.
to DBL. We got some viral videos to share, and it seems like it might be a trend. All right, massive brawls that have broken out in public. Quick warning to our viewers, some of these videos you're about to see are graphic. So up first, check out this massive brawl at the Miami International Airport. The passengers were waiting on their flight to Chicago when this fight broke out. It reportedly started after they were told there were only 3 standby seats available, and their party was for 4. One person was charged with disorderly conduct. There was also this fight that broke out at a seafood restaurant in Mississippi. Started out small before it turned more violent, with silverware, napkin dispensers, and even chairs being thrown. It is not entirely clear what started the fight, but we're not trying to exploit this. We're actually trying to get to this point. Why do you think we're seeing more and more of these massive brawl videos? And do you think it's because of the pandemic and people just not knowing how to act in public anymore? Thoughts?
I'm not about to give adults a pass on not knowing how to act in public because of a year in the house. Okay, I'm sorry.
I was like,
anybody over 18 that is stupid, anybody under 18 that's stupid. I'm looking at that and like, how embarrassed should everybody that ever met you in their life be? That you are an adult fighting in the airport and also in a restaurant throwing chairs like an animal.
That's how she's gonna talk to her child. I love it.
I'm embarrassed for these people over standby. Like, if you needed to get somewhere that seriously, then you shouldn't have been on standby.
But you're trying to apply a lot of sense to a whole lot of nonsense, okay? That's the truth, because the truth is this is the perfect formula. We're going to see this more so post-pandemic than we did pre-pandemic.
And why is that?
Because the #1 recipe to getting into a brawl is having nothing to lose.
People should. There's no jobs.
Outside, right, exactly. They have nothing to lose. You've become outside of your mind. You lacked social skills before the lockdown. So the idea that this would happen, do you know I've had to de-escalate 2 fights in 2 weeks?
No.
2 fights in 2 weeks. One, I parked my car on the street. This woman was sitting outside of her home waiting for someone to park in that spot.
Wow.
When I parked in that spot, she approached the sidewalk and started cursing me out, like when I got out of the car. And I was standing there like, and I kept looking behind me like, who is she talking to? And she's like, you cannot park in this spot. This spot is in front of my house. Wow. Like, she was just waiting. So I was like, I'm sorry, ma'am. Have you been waiting for somebody to park in this spot so that you could yell at them?
And she's
like,
out.
well, it's my house. Wow. It's my house. I was like, yeah, but this is street parking and this is a rental, so you don't own this street, right?
Wow.
And she's like, and she went on and on. I finally said, ma'am, I just want to wish you a very blessed day, because clearly you are dealing with some things, and I am going to pray for you.
Yeah.
Out of courtesy to your home. I am going to park elsewhere.
Good for you, Erica.
Be blessed.
I was about to say, I hope you just parked elsewhere. It's not even worth it.
I had to say something. That was my de-escalation.
Everyone take a breath and relax. We'll be right back. Breathe, people. How's she doing?
Better now, but the hospital.
There are many situations where fully vaccinated people do not need to wear a mask.
A big announcement from Rochelle Walensky, the director of the CDC, about what people can now do outside without these masks. So let's verify what you can and can't do once you're fully vaccinated, which is 2 weeks after your final shot. Let's start with outdoor exercise. Whether you're vaccinated or not, the CDC says it's okay to run, walk, or bike without a mask. But if you're still awaiting that shot, you're going to want to keep your distance. Okay, what about small outdoor gatherings, like barbecues? Well, according to the CDC, if you're fully vaccinated, you won't need a mask, whether people there are vaccinated or not. Meanwhile, unvaccinated people will need to mask up when around other unvaccinated people outside of their circle. Now let's move on to my favorite thing: food and outdoor dining. The CDC says those who are vaccinated are now safe to take off that mask when eating at an outdoor restaurant. As for unvaccinated people, the CDC is still not recommending that they eat outdoors at restaurants, although they say to wear a mask if they do. And what about the larger outdoor events, like sports games or concerts? Under their new guidance, the CDC says that these events are safe for vaccinated people, although they'll still need to wear a mask. These outdoor events are not deemed safe for those who are still awaiting a shot. As for indoor events, the guidance remains the same: wear these masks even if you're vaccinated.
Welcome back to DBL. In the 80s, Anna Young ran the House of Prayer. Few people knew what was actually happening behind closed doors. Decades later, we're learning the grim reality of the truth. Here's the story in True Crime Chronicles. A warning to our viewers, some of this content may be disturbing.
Anna Young had a hard life growing up. She used her faith as motivation to keep going. In 1983, she started the House of Prayer near Gainesville, Florida.
The House of Prayer started out as supposed to be a safe haven.
It was a place for kids and women to go who needed a place to get back on their feet. Mother Anna recruited more than 20 members over a decade.
As people started idolizing or other broken people, people began to look at you as the voice of God.
Joy remembers her mother torturing members for their sins.
They're willing to lay down and take beatings and whippings and starvations and be in boxes and eat cow manure and everything because they love God so much. They just want to be pure and holy.
Court documents revealed 2-year-old Katonia Jackson was forced to run in circles and was beaten if she stopped. She ended up dying from a seizure. Shortly after, her 8-year-old brother, John Neal, ended up in the hospital for a severe skin infection, and doctors noticed similarities between him and his sister. It finally prompted an investigation into the House of Prayer.
When they would go in, they would see a very clean property, a very clean house, very orderly, very organized.
Anna was smart. She left no evidence behind.
Miss Anna had trapdoors, secret rooms, so she was able to hide children and to mask the goings-on there.
In 1986, another child arrived named Eamon Harper.
His lips were so crusted over that part of his lip, like the crust, touched my finger. Like, I've given him the water, and sometimes, thinking about it, I still feel it. I feel it.
Eamon was later found dead in a closet. It wasn't until 1992 Anna was caught when a 12-year-old member was found in a tub with chemicals and severe burns. Anna was charged with child abuse and fled. After being on the run for years, she was caught in 2001. Anna served some prison time, but was released and free again. Joy held on to those gut-wrenching memories for decades. But the day her mother criticized her for parenting,
I blurted out, "How can you tell me how to raise my kids when you killed 2 children?"
In 2017, Joy went to police and told them everything. There was enough evidence to charge Anna for the murders of Eamon Harper and Katonia Jackson.
If it wouldn't have been for Joy calling and having these memories and telling us about it, this would have gone unnoticed, unpunished.
Anna was sentenced to 30 years for the 2 murders, but 42 days later, she died in prison. A twist in the case, but finally some closure for Joy and the victims.
What I'm not going to do, though, is lie about, the lives that were lost during the process of, all of this journey, because I feel like if I live with those, then I'm just as guilty.
Earlier, Brandon and I spoke with a reporter who is close to this case. Take a look. We are joined by First Coast News reporter Jocelyn Howard. Jocelyn, thank you so much for being here. Anna Young was an ex-cult leader who tortured and starved her members. Her daughter Joy witnessed it for years and finally turned her in. I just want to know, how did she work up the courage to finally do that?
Joy was very young, and she grew up just like a lot of these members, idolizing her mom, thinking that her mom was the voice of God. And she even went as far to say that she one day wanted to be like her mom, that matriarch of the House of Prayer. Then she got out into the real world and realized that what she saw was wrong. She saw the terrible things that her mother did, but on the other hand, she loves her mom. She made that very clear in our interview. She does love her mom. Wow. And she was going through that issue in her heart and her body of do I turn my mom in? This is what really stuck to me in our interview. Her exact words were, how can you tell me how to raise my kids when you killed 2 children? Ooh. And that sent chills through my body. And she said, from there, I just needed to call law enforcement.
You just mentioned how you did speak with Joy, and did she ever tell you why she thinks her mother did all this?
Starting the House of Prayer and moving down to Florida was her mother's way of kind of dealing with her sins and trying to redeem herself. And so I don't think really cults always start out as, I'm going to start a cult.
Right.
It started out with great intentions. The House of Prayer started out as a safe haven for people, especially people who couldn't afford where they lived, couldn't afford food, couldn't afford childcare, and they brought these people onto the property. And it was a really great thing. I mean, they were feeding these people, and at the same time, though, Anna was feeding them the gospel as well. And these people started looking at her as, wow, what a holy woman.
The story spans decades. It's a really long case. Do you think just in your heart more victims will come forward?
You never know. You never know. And I mean, I actually have had some people reach out to me about this after my story came out that weren't necessarily a part of the House of Prayer, but they knew Anna before the House of Prayer. And they were telling me how she was before the House of Prayer. And so, I mean, this wasn't just the House of Prayer, this was Anna Young. Maybe some people will come forward, but I think law enforcement has a pretty good grasp right now on who all was there.
I'm fascinated to learn more about this case. If you are too, visit firstcoastnews.com. The story is also the subject of a new podcast episode. Just search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Jocelyn, great job on this story. What a hard story to follow. Thank you for all your work. Anna Young's official cause of death has just been released. Now, she did die from COVID-19 complications. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. Scammers are using COVID-19 to steal your data. Here are 3 scams to be aware of. First up, watch out for fake post-vaccine surveys promising you cash and prizes. Second, unemployment insurance. Anyone who has applied for this can be targeted with phony forms asking for personal information. Lastly, the vaccine selfie. Again, don't post your card on social media unless the birth date and the full name are covered. When it comes to your financial assets, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. Good advice, spread out. Have a good day, everyone. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.